Segir bara til að bara...
Hjördís, erum við klár? Að verða, hvernig verður það klárt?
Það er bara komin.
Ok. Við erum komin loftið. Hello again. Finland and Norway. I hope the technique is all right now and you can see us and hear us. We are going to start with Benedikt, who's going from Vatnajökull National Park. He's going to tell us about this area and vegetation succession, isn't it? And after that, we have reflection from the students. They are now observing and preparing for that. So, yeah. Benedikt, please.
Það er bara að tala vel og hátt eða koma aðeins nær.
So, thank you. And you can come closer if you like, the Icelandic students. So, my name is Benedikt and I'm a master student in biology and I work for the National Park during the summer up in Læki where we were earlier today. And I'm going to tell you about the area that we're in now, Skeiðarársandur, and a bit about Icelandic forests and vegetation. So, one of the first things that foreign guests notice when they land in Iceland is that there are no trees. You land at the airport, drive to Reykjavik, go somewhere off, see something beautiful, but the one thing that you will probably not see is tree or forests. And if you go now and Google Icelandic landscape, this is not the things that you will see. You will not find trees, you will find mountains and waterfalls, but, well, forests are not one of them. But it hasn't always been like this. When the first settlers came to Iceland, they wrote in the sagas that Iceland had forest from the shore up into the mountain. But today that is clearly not the case. Iceland has only one species that forms forests. It's called birch, but all other trees that you will see have been planted or are here by human intervention. So birch trees are the only Icelandic trees that form forests, so unlike Norway and Finland where you have spruce and all kinds of conifers all over the place, we only have the Icelandic birch. But why am I telling you this here today at Skeiðarársandur? Skeiðarársandur is in front of Vatnajökull, the biggest glacier in Europe, and Skeiðarársandur is an outwash plain. Outwash plains are formed in front of melting glaciers because the melting water has to go to the shore, and on the way the water brings small particles like sand and rocks and leaves it on the outwash plain. And these plains, they usually look like, well, at least many of them look like kind of deserts and are, well, usually don't have much vegetation. But 20 years ago, Icelandic researchers were going through this area and they saw tiny bits of plants and they found out that these plants were birch. And since then this area has been monitored quite well and will, if nothing else happens, become the biggest natural forest in Iceland. It now stretches over 35 square kilometers and this has been done without human intervention. So one of the questions that we have been trying to answer in the research is, how can this happen? Why should this happen? And well, there are a lot of things that have to come together for this kind of things to work. First of all, the first thing is quite obvious, you need a lot of seeds. But the seeds, they also have to be healthy. That is something that is not guaranteed. So you need a lot of healthy seeds. These seeds then had to fly over 12 kilometers and land here, and they can't just go anywhere. They have to land in places where they can germinate and form small plants that then can survive. And these seeds, they're actually just tiny. You can't really notice them unless you know what you're looking for. Then you will have to have good weather. You have to have a rainy fall, a good winter and a good summer during after. So a lot of things have to come together, but with changing climate, all of these components could become more common. So with more precipitation in Iceland, for example, or warmer climate, forests like these could start to grow all over the place. And that is something that, well, is like it was before during the settlement. So landscape that we will see in maybe 100 years or when we get old in Iceland would look quite different. The glaciers, they're disappearing and the forest is growing back. So yeah, the landscape photos from Iceland will probably be a bit different. Yes, I was not going to have this any longer. If you have any questions or something that you're wondering about.
Maybe about your study. Can
Yes.
you tell us a bit about that?
So I have been studying this area since 2017, and my first project was about using drones in this research. So we were using drones to try to identify the trees and how the size of the area that they're now covering. But since then, my part of the project has been trying to find other places that are maybe similar to Skeiðarársandur and see if this is something that could happen in different places and what things are essential for, well, succession like this to happen. So, yeah.
Do you know how big the area is here with trees?
So, Skeiðarársandur, yes, so Skeiðarársandur covers 1,000 square kilometers and the birch forest or the birch trees now cover 35 of that.
When will the forest get get a name?
That's a good question. When will the forest get a name? I don't know. But it is going to be a forest if nothing else happens. So this is in a very volcanic area, or we have volcanoes all around shift things, but if nothing else happens, this will become a forest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So FAS has also been monitoring this area, and we have a 5 spot here that we go to every September and measure the trees and count the new ones and so on. And we are actually at one of these spots. See maybe the mark there. Hjördís is taking that, and this is her spot. She goes to this spot every year.
I'm at home, almost at home.
So yeah, she feels like home now. But now we are going to turn to the students, and they are going to tell us about what they have been observing and yeah, seeing, and what's the name for ígrundur after?
Reflection.
Reflection, yeah. It's the last one now, and we will start with Thomas.
Er þetta mosi á ensku?
Moss bara.
Drop-off-tengingin, við höldumst inn, sko.
Okay.
Þú verður að sýna Tómas.
Já. Sést það?
Og koma nær. Ég sé þetta nú ekki mjög vel.
Við erum að koma að inn að...
Alveg inn að velni.
Legum að fókusa. Þannig ekki hún. Yep. There we go.
Yeah, I did this picture of where the moose is forming on the stone. Huh.
Mús eða elgur. Moss.
Moss is forming on a stone. And yeah, I just noticed that. Yeah. Thank you.
Maria.
I took a picture of this tree with a mountain in the back, and I took it because it was beautiful and it caught my eye.
Karen.
I chose to smell the moss and take a picture of it. I chose to think it's a good smell and good nature smell. Yes.
Thank you. Julius.
Þetta farið.
En þetta farið?
Við erum ekki með fjörgi, við erum með...
Skeiðarársandur.
Hvað með þetta
Þetta
nær?
ekki oftöku?
Jú, þetta er alltaf östu.
Hvað nær? Okay.
Yeah, I took this picture. I think it's a beautiful mountain. Yeah, see it almost every weekend when I'm driving from Reykjavík. So, yeah. Thank you.
Varspa.
Kemur aftur inn?
Ég er með delay, hann tekur smá, þannig að ég er með smá ploss.
Okay.
I took a photo of moss. The moss was very soft and I tasted it and it was very dry and not good. The moss is light green and I like the color.
Takk fyrir það. Guðrún.
Yes.
I chose to take this picture because it was the biggest tree I saw, and yes, it's beautiful and it made me feel happy for the tree.
That's nice.
And I used my sight, yes.
It is.
Aðeins her.
I found some blueberries. The taste was okay. I squeezed some of them and only purple blueberry juice came out. One I find interesting, when we came to Skeiðarársandur, there were like dark grey skies on the top of the mountain.
Takk fyrir það. Ástrós.
I choose this because everything around here is green and brown, but this was the only thing that was red, and that stood out. I used my eyes because this really got my attention. This reminds me of a color in a grey place.
Takk. Arna.
Sést þetta alveg eða? Sést það?
Ég sé það ekki alveg.
Oh, okay. I chose this machine.
What's on the picture?
Yeah, the machine, because it helps the electricity to keeps the hvað segir maður þetta? Yes, going so we can show you what we are doing.
If we have a connection.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Við endum á Annitu.
Okay, sést þetta?
Já, ef þú kemur með svona, held ég. Okay?
Svona.
Já.
Okay, so I chose to take a picture of these berries because they were the first berries I saw and they are good, and when I looked at them it made me feel hungry, so I started eating them.
Yes. So, now you heard from the students and we are almost finished for today. I hope you have been connected for most of the time, but if not, it's recorded and you can see it later tonight or in the morning. We'll have a session tomorrow.
Yes, we in Iceland start at 8 o'clock Norway.
And maybe Hjördís, you can tell him a bit about that.
Yes. We are going to meet tomorrow. The Icelandic students, they will start at 8 o'clock and the students in Norway at 10 o'clock and in Finland at 11 o'clock. And you should know in which group you are, and you can, if not, you can find it on Teams. And we are going to use the material on the web page and also what we have recorded we are going to use it in our group work. So see you again tomorrow. Bye. Thank you.